In Christianity, you cannot tell the difference between the devil and God. And Christians also cannot tell the difference between God and the devil. They can't tell the difference between acts committed by God and acts committed by the devil. If an accident happens and kills all the people, it's the devil. But if an accident happens and one person is saved, it's God. A mother loses a child, it's God's will. An earthquake happens somewhere or floods in a place that Christians don't deem as pure, that is God. If a husband is alcoholic and beats his wife to the point of her almost dying, that's the devil. But then if the wife survives, that's God. God saved her. If the whole church burns down and kills everyone inside, that's the devil. Unless the Bible in that church was not burnt down, and that's God. If someone mocks God and dies, that's God doing his work because he doesn't want to be mocked. But if the same person was a Christian and still dies, that might either be the devil or it might be God doing his will and he's not supposed to be questioned. So my question is, who is God and who is the devil? And why do you guys alternate God and the devil like that? Unless God and the devil are the same person.
Alright, Shalom. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High, Yahweh Ba'asham Yawashai, Ba'asham Raka Kwadash, double honor to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you sincere Akim. And this is your brother Abawan back again with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'asham Yawashai, Ba'asham Raka Kwadash, all praises and glory is due. Right, so this is just me going to be responding to this video I saw on Instagram where, the Christians are constantly being exposed for their lack of understanding in the scripture. So you had this lady, right? Most likely East African, probably Jake, probably Hamite. She could be any nation, right? So she said that there is no difference, or at the very least, Christians themselves don't know the difference between the Most High God, right? Or rather, their God, okay, the Christian God, and the devil when it comes to the Bible, right? Because when one thing happens, they attribute it to God, and another thing happens, they attribute it to the devil. As you can see the example she gave, right? That, oh, if a man beats his wife, right, the devil took hold of him and caused him to beat his wife, right? But if the woman survives the beating, oh, that was God that saved her. If a church burns down, that's the devil. But if the Bible in the church is unharmed, so that's God that did that, right? That's basically the idea that she was saying. That's how Christian minds operate, right? And it just shows you that the Christians have no understanding of the scripture. So at the end of the video, she asked the question, and really you've already seen the video, but still important to mention all these things. But yeah, at the end of the video, she asked the question, what is the difference between God and the devil, right? So that is clearly a question that only the Hebrew Israelites, okay, will be able to answer. So with that, I'll begin with the book of Deuteronomy 32, verse 39, and it reads, see now that I, even I am he, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So that's the first thing we'll clarify, okay, that everything you mentioned in that video, everything she mentioned in that video, it was all done. It was all orchestrated. It was all set up. Okay, by the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, by the Most High Yahweh. Everything she mentioned in the video was just all set up by the Most High, and we constantly go into this as Hebrew Israelites, okay, that everything that happens on the earth, both good or bad, has to be signed off by the Most High, okay, and it is always, done either through the right hand or through the left hand. And of course, the good things, right? Including the judgments. Okay, so like say for example, one of these demons out here, okay, these high ranking devils, right? These spiritual wickedness in high places, your Henry Kissinger's, your the different devils that ultimately, let me just leave it right there. But you know what happens to them, right? Your Henry Kissinger, your Queen Elizabeth, and so on and so forth, right? When the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, renders his judgments upon them, right? That's coming from the right hand side, okay? Rather, I should say, yeah, that's coming from the right hand side, okay? So, yeah, and the left hand, of course, is, the wicked things that are happening on the earth, like, say, Esau coming into power, and all the unrighteous decrees that have been set up by Esau, Edom, right, to happen on the earth, okay? So, you know what I'm talking about, right? The promotion and the pushing of all the folly that you see on the earth, the wine of Babylon, the great spreading, that was all set up through the left hand of the Most High Yahweh Sham Yahushai. Okay, so I will say like this: it's not the Most High Yahweh Sham Yahushai directly doing all these things, but these things can't happen unless He ordains it so. Okay, because what it is like I said, the right hand and the left hand agents of the Most High are the ones that are doing all these things. Okay, but at the end of the day, right, what should be known is that this is all set up, all ordained, has all been ordained by the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. That's why the scriptures say that that the Most High is Him, okay, that He is, and there is no power with Him, and that's why we call Him Yahweh. He is, He exists. Okay, so let me get this next precept in the book of Isaiah. I believe that should be Isaiah 46. Yeah. So this is the book of Isaiah 46, and that's from verse 8. Remember this and show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, O ye transgressors. Remember the former things of old. For I am Yahweh, and there is none else. I am the Most High, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are yet not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Right? Because like I said, okay, this is everything that happens on the earth has to be set up, right? Has to be everything that's happened on the earth was set up by the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai from the beginning of time. Okay, so yeah, and to clarify, and also that's just what that another yeah so okay, let me count that first, and that's just dealing with the Most High. So now when it comes to the devil, okay, you Christians don't know who the devil is because they have been deceived by that devil to believe that, oh, the devil is, this fable of Lucifer that rebelled against God and was cast down from heaven. That's not what that means, okay? But rather, the devil is a man. It is the so-called red man, Esau Edom, right, that is currently ruling on the earth. That is who the devil, which the Bible speaks of, is. So let's get that precept, okay? And this is a this is a prophecy, right, getting on these Christians. So this is the book of John 8, verse 44, right? Because the Christians will swear and say, oh, our Father is God, right? But no, John 8 verse 44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it, right? So let's go into the blue letter for the word devil, right? Because this is the best way to actually go and explain how the devil isn't, or the spiritual demon Satan, because there is a distinction, right? There is a difference between the spiritual demon Satan and the devil in the New Testament, the devil which the Bible speaks of, okay? Because the Satan that, the devil that came and tempted our Lord Yahushai in the garden, that was the spiritual demon Satan, right? But the devil, in the Bible, right, in different parts of the Bible, is mainly Esau, Edom. So this is the Strong's, concordance for devil, okay? Diabolos. Let's play that.
Strong's G1228. Diabolos.
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 Right, diabolos. Prone to slander, slanderous, and accusing falsely. Then that's basically what the word devil means, a false accuser. But let's get the main point. Second definition. Metaphor applied to a man who by opposing the cause of God may be said to play the part of the devil or to side with him, right? And this is really just something that's applied to a man, because the devil isn't referring to the spiritual demon Satan, rather referring to a man that is opposing, that's just one of the examples, but the main one is a false accuser, right? That's what the devil is, a false accuser, and that's exactly what Esau Edom is. That's why the scriptures call him the accuser of the brethren, okay? And when Esau's kingdom falls, right, let's get that precept. The accuser's kingdom will fall. The accuser will fall right along with his kingdom. So let's get that. Revelation 12 verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. Right. And that accuser, of course, is referring to Esau, Edom, the so-called red man, okay? Because like I said, and like I said, he is the devil, which the Bible speaks of. So that is your distinction. That is the difference between. And let me get this precept first before I go into something else. Here it is. So this is the book of Matthew 4 verse 1, and it reads, then Yahushua was led up into the spirit, into the wilderness. Then was Yahushua led up of the spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil, right? And this is the temptation after that he was tempted after 40 days and 40 nights of fasting, okay? So the devil that was tempting him here is actually the spiritual demon Satan, okay? And amen, the way in which you will know the difference between the spiritual demon Satan and when the scriptures is talking about the spiritual demon Satan and Esau Edom, right? If the spirit isn't dealing with you, you will not be able to get the difference, okay? But just simply by reading it and by reading the context, okay? Because even the scriptures will give you the context and will give you the characteristics of what devil that is being spoken of there. You can just make the different, you can just get the difference, make the separation in your mind, okay? So John 4 verse 2, and when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, if thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Right. So this is showing you that this is I just wanted to read this precept to show you that this is the spiritual demon Satan right here that is tempting the Lord Yahushua. So I'm not saying that whenever you see devil in the Bible that it is definitely speaking of Esau Edom, but rather you have to use your own, right? Let me not say your own, but rather you have to use the spirit, right? Try the spirit by the spirit, okay? I use the spirit to be able to know which devil is being spoken of, okay? But when it comes to what she was describing, right? Every single thing she described was something that was set up by the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Okay, let me get this precept. Hold on, let me get this precept. Here it is. So this is the book of Isaiah 45. So this is the book of Isaiah 45, verse 5. I am Yahweh, and there is none else. There is no power beside me. I gathered thee, though thou hast not known me, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west, that there is none beside me. I am Yahweh, and there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, Yahweh, do all these things, right? So, even the evil that you see on the earth was made or set up by the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, okay? And let's get one thing straight, okay? When we say evil, we're talking about, the etymological word for evil, okay? Bad times, right? And even in the Hebrew, okay, and in this case in the Hebrew, the word for evil in the Hebrew is Ra'ai. And just because something is evil does not mean that it is wicked, okay? So I'm not saying that, oh, the Most High can do wickedness, okay? I'm also not saying that, oh, it's the Most High that is tempting you and making you do wickedness, because that's another dumbass ideology that Christians have. Even when it comes to committing sin or committing evil, right? It's not even Satan that causes you to commit sin, okay? All the spiritual demons Satan can do is tempt you. But you, as a human being, let's get that preset. You commit sin when you fall into the lusts of your heart, okay? Guys, New Testament. Trying to remember they're trying to remember the exact precept.
Let's find the missing number 7. The numbers on the right exclude 6 possible cells. We're left with 1 free cell for 2 rows and columns.
I'm trying to remember the
So
exact
another
precept.
one goes to this cell.
Classic Sudoku puzzle. Free to play.
Here it is. So this is the book of James 1 verse 13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. For the Most High Yahweh cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempt he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Do not err, my beloved brethren. Right, so you can't say, oh, well, if the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai is in control of all things, right, that means that I was tempted of him, alright, or he caused me to do, no, he didn't, no, the Most High didn't cause you to do anything, okay? It came of your own lust, okay? So let's keep going, and I've already read them 2 of the precepts, but yeah, basically there is no, you know now the difference between, right, the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai and the devil. So let me also get this final precept. That should be the book of Psalms, okay? That all the devil is just, an angel that is set up by the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai to do evil. Okay, let's get that. So this is the book of Psalm 78, and I'll start from verse 49. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath and indignation and trouble by sending evil angels among them. Right. And basically this is the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, and you do have angels in the spiritual world that, on the left hand side, that their only role is to just, their only role is just do the judgment of the, or rather, carry out the judgment of the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, okay? And hey, like I said, just because it is evil does not mean it is wicked. So let me, get this next precept in the book of Ecclesiasticus 39. After all, it's not written. Let's get that. Ecclesiasticus 39, and this is the book of Ecclesiasticus 39, verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force, and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. Right. So if you want to know the difference between, the Most High Yahweh and the devil, right? The Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushua is in control of all things, right? And the spiritual demon Satan, okay, or the devil, which the Bible speaks of, Esau, Edom, are simply under the control of the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushua, right? So I think that should be right. The deceived and the deceiver are his. So Job 12 verse 16. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. Right. So let's not fall for the lies and the deceit of Wakitaki plantation Christianity, where it basically tells you that, oh, Satan is the spiritual demon, Satan is out of control and he's just doing as he pleases, and he rebelled, because there is no rebellion, right? There is no rebelling against the will of the Most High Yahweh Ashai. After all, that because that is another lie that plantation Christianity teaches, that we have free will and we are able to do as we please. Okay, the angels, right, do not rebel against the Most High. The angels do not commit wickedness against the Most High. The angels are perfect, so there is no spirit. There is no Lucifer. Okay, there is no fallen angel. Okay, and evil, as the scriptures show you, that evil Satan is also an angel of the Most High Yahweh Shai, and not a fallen angel. So let's go to that in the book. So let's go to that real quick in the book of Job. And of course, Esau, Edom, the so-called red band, is just the wicked. Okay, the wicked. So that Job 1, and I'll start from verse 6. Job 1 verse 6. That there was a day when the sons of the Most High Yahweh Shai came to present themselves before Yahweh, and Satan came also among them. And Yahweh said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Right, so even the spiritual demon Satan is under the control of the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushua, and it's also one of the angels of the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushua on the left hand side. So even the angels are in their order, and they also play their roles that they were set up to play on the earth. That you have the angels that act in righteousness, because all angels are righteous. Okay, so you have the angels that act in righteousness, and you have the angels that act not in wickedness, right, but in evil, or rather in judgments to the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushua. In other words, the left hand angels, right, whether they do whether they make the left hand or do things on the left hand of the Most High. Like, for example, that the angel that went and deceived the prophets, right, by showing them false visions or giving them a false sign. So that's an example of a left hand angel right there. Right, so yeah, this is basically just it. And this is the issue with plantation Christianity that spread so much confusion on the earth, where people don't even know the scriptures or understand it. So now, the question, so now, hey, but at the end of the day, that's just the thing right there. It's just the left hand angels, playing their part once again, right? Because they can't just say that, oh, the left hand angels, the only thing they do is evil, just going out here running. Of course they do not, right? But they also have other aspects of their roles as well on the earth. Like, for example, being a stumbling, right, or sifting out, or being a stumbling to our people, right? You Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Like for example, Christianity, right? Wakitaki plantation Christianity, and that also reminds me. I almost forgot to mention that even the demons, operate exclusively on the left hand, right? Because there are still demons as well, and they operate exclusively on the left hand. Like for example, the Christianity demon, okay, and that is what has been, and it basically has been set up to be a stumbling block to our people. Okay, so that's why you see Jake will be heavily, it will be heavy. That's why you see Jake will be heavy into Christianity and be like, oh, we're not Hebrew Israelites, man. We are Christians and we are saved by God and JC. And then you now see other Jakes, right, that will completely reject the scriptures and reject the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai because of Christianity, right? So Christianity has been a stumbling block towards our people as well. Okay, and it's a huge stumbling towards our people because you have so many Jakes that don't even believe in this truth because of them being former Christians, right? And then you have Jakes that actively are Christians, and because of the demon of Christianity, they are unable to believe. But this is still the same left hand spirit working in both of them, right? So with that, I'll end the video right there. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Ba Shamra Kwadash Wa Abad Babal Shalom.